From her perspective in this exchange, it sounds like much more than just job training. It's fundamental.
Like a safety net and a pathway creator.
Precisely.
Now, the secretary's view, at least initially here, seems heavily shaped by data from a Department of Labor report.
Yes, exactly. She refers to a Job Corps transparency report, calls it the most comprehensive report that has been done on the program.
So she's really basing her concerns, her decisions, directly on the findings in that study.
That's the impression, yeah.
And the numbers she pulls out, well, they sound pretty stark, at least from her perspective.
They are. She mentions figures for a specific district, but then gives some stats she says are across the board.
Okay, so what are those numbers?
Right. So the report cited shows a cost of $56,000 per enrollee.
Per person just enrolling. Okay.
But then the cost per graduate, particularly for the district mentioned, it jumps way up.
How high?
$268,000.
Wow. $268K per graduate in that case.
Yeah. And across the board, she says only about 1/3 of participants actually graduate.
Only a third make it through.
And maybe the most critical point for the secretary's argument here, the average earnings for those who do graduate.
What are they earning after the program?
Only about $16,000 a year.
$16,000. Okay. So looking at those figures side by side, that cost per graduate, $268K in one case versus $16K earnings.
You can immediately see why the secretary expresses concern.
Yeah. She states it directly, right? Just the discrepancy alone concerns me.
Exactly that. That huge gap between the investment to get someone through and what they earn afterward. That's a major, well, a red flag for her based on this data.
But it's important you mention the source shows she immediately adds something else.
Right. She says that doesn't mean the population we should forget about.
Okay, so the data on efficiency is a concern, clearly, but she's not dismissing the need to serve this group.
Correct. Which really sets the stage perfectly for Representative Watson-Coleman's response and her core questions.
And she doesn't necessarily defend the program as perfect, does she?
No, not entirely. She says she doesn't agree it has done its job as best it can, but she frames the issue differently.
How so?
She suggests that maybe we don't necessarily hold people up to the standards that we expect.
Oh, that's a fascinating shift. So the problem might not just be the program itself, but maybe how it's run, how participants are supported, or maybe even how we measure success beyond just, getting them out the door. Right. So her central challenge to the secretary then becomes what?
It's basically, okay, if this data looks bad to you, what's your actual plan? What's the proposal to give this specific population what they need? Safety, security, college access, apprenticeships.
She asks, essentially, what do you have that is concretely better than that?
Exactly.